It's been almost 2 years since I did the Woodwork for Women course. Beginner's course, and I'm living in my little tiny house. Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, so it hasn't got any power or water at the moment, but I have an amazing roof and walls to support me in life, and I'm super grateful for that. When it rains particularly, you know, it's really nice to know I've got a really good roof and insulation, and I just feel so cozy up there in the loft. Yeah.
So how long did it take for the walls to go up and the openings and the windows in and the roof on? Do you remember the time span of that? Because you were working and flying down in the holidays.
Well, so the next thing that happened, my brother had a truck and he towed the trailer with the flooring down towards Melbourne in the southeastern suburbs, and I had been working with a steel frame company and sending them photos of my drawings, my design, with all the dimensions and everything. And he basically took my photos and transferred that into a 3D computer, what do you call it, plans?
Yes.
And so then my dad and I went and had a meeting and, you know, ticked off all the things, made sure everything was going to fit. For example, this loft, making sure that it was going to be able to fit above the door opening. Yeah, so this loft is higher than that one. Yeah, just so it can fit the door underneath.
Look. Yes.
And the reason the door had to be here is because the fireplace is going to go there. So you have to make sure you've got room for all the, especially in, you know, something that's 6 meters.
Is there anything you would have done differently
in the design?
Yeah. Because you thought about it really long and well.
Well, I really love that it's a small, you know, six meters to here and then another 0.5 of the drawbar. But it would have been quite nice to have, say, an extra meter in the bathroom. Not that I need it, it's not a necessity, but, or even to have, you know, if I wanted to fit some kind of L-shaped lounge, so when I have guests over, you know, just that extra meter. But, you know, we can always have just a little extra something, can't we?
When you draw in hindsight.
Yeah,
but
I love it.
I interrupted you. You were talking about the frame and that you found a steel company.
Yeah.
And you went and picked up your frame.
Well, yeah, so what happened was then he put the plan off the computer onto a USB and out into his factory and put it in the CAD machine. So off a big roll of flat steel, it comes down and then into the CAD and basically prints the steel with all the right holes and everything cut exactly where it needs to be. And then there's a team of guys that receive the steel and they're screwing it all together flat. And then once it's flat packed, then they can raise it. So sometimes people just receive their frame flat packed on a truck and raise it themselves, but I was working, so I just had them raise it for me in the factory, which was amazing.
So you took your trailer there?
So I took it there and then I flew back home up here to work.
Yes.
Keep going, doing all the camps and stuff with the children, and then
when you came home it was done.
And then so then when I went back in the winter holidays, we went and drove with the truck and picked up the house with the frame on it, and it really looked like a house then. It was quite amazing.
So was the roof pitch on it? Is that steel as well?
Yep, and so is the loft. It's all steel, so it's really solid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if with the frame, if I was going to do something different, the internal walls I would just build out of timber.
Okay.
Because there's no real need, they're not structural, you know, they don't need to be steel.
Yes.
And that way I could then build into the cavity of the wall. I really wanted shelving in there.
Yeah.
Really desperately, and then when the frame went up, it had some bracing points, and so that's why there's a triangle over there, which you know, it just is how it is. But yeah, I would love to have had the whole wall just be shelving. You can see.
We're just going to have a little look at that really pretty little triangle, which I thought was a gorgeous feature.
Yeah, I think I've seen them before with this amazing shelving in the cavity. It just makes such a good use of the space.
Yeah.
You know, something that's hollow is actually hollow. There's no, you don't need insulation or anything in there.
You don't?
So no, because it's interior. So
yeah,
you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's on the outside?
The cladding on the outside is I have some cedar weatherboards, and then some recycled corrugated iron that's off an old roof, and then up the top in the loft area is some cedar shakes or shingles.
What made you decide on the shingles?
I love shingles. I think they just look really cute. They make a little house look like a little cabin, and it was sort of one of the have-to-haves. Yeah, for this house, which isn't a typical design, you know, feature in Australia.
Design. It's your design. That's what's so special about it. You haven't taken it off anything. It's just come from within you. And all your needs, and now that you said that, I loved what you said before about you wanted it to be feel right for you. Does it feel right for you?
If you just have a look here at this little sign, that came from a little bit of work I did. Some bit of work I did the other day around choosing. Yeah. Really choosing my situation and where I'm at now, because I don't have all of the necessities, you know, the plumbing, the power and all those things that are just really modern conveniences. Make life comfortable and easy and, you know, a bit more flow, but this house is a work in progress. And it will probably take another 2 years, you know, to really see the touches, the finishing touches and things that'll make it be a really functional space. Yeah, I really love it. I was really not loving it for a while there. You know, it had a lot of, it was a big project to take on, and
absolutely.
There was some times where I was doing a lot of it by myself, lifting sheets of ply. It was heavy and it was hot, it was summer, you know, trying to hold the sheet up and pre-drill into the steel and put the screw in, you know, while everyone else is out having a good time. But, you know, again, it's my choice. I would say I was quite naive when I took on the journey, but I'm really glad now that I've done it. I'm doing it.
Thank goodness for your naivety, or you might not have even started.
That's exactly right.
You know, people don't. They go, oh, that mountain's too high. But it's been, you know, it's been a process, and you've learned a lot along the way, and you're still reaping the benefits of, you know, how it makes your living independent, and you're still building your life, and you're building your home inside, aren't you? Yeah, it's never ending.
Well, that's it. Life is a work in progress. I mean, I think this will just keep growing with. Come and see the bathroom.
Show me the bathroom.
There's going to be a barn door here eventually. I've got the hardware that's going to run along there, and in here is the compost toilet. There's a few little flies coming in the window, but there's some lucerne, and eventually there'll be some plumbing here, a sink, and then possibly a shower there. But at the moment, this is my temporary sink. I just put a bottle of water here, use a little tap, and that's all my clothes. Storage.
I love the lighting in here. It's really, really pretty. Really, really nice.
Okay, so come up and see my bedroom. This is where I sleep. It's quite spacious. I've ended up with a king-size mattress and heaps of space to do some stretching or just hang out.
Let me climb these beautiful stairs. And you come up and you see blue wrens. Beautiful. And a skylight.
Yes.
And another window here for plenty of fresh air.
Yeah, this one's one of my favourite windows because you can have it open while it's raining. You see?
And all
ventilation.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just heavenly. Tell me about what inspired you to the beautiful window.
Oh, I've always loved these kinds of windows, and I tried looking for secondhand windows like this, either in an arch or something a bit unique, but I couldn't find anything. So I just started looking for artists who made this lead light, and also someone who could make a round timber window.
So tell us who made the beautiful lead light? Who
So
was the name of the artist?
I found her. She goes by Authentic Lead Light down in Victoria in Somerville, and she worked with a friend of mine, Alex Oakey. He made the timber window.
Look how deep it is. It's just beautiful. Do you know what sort of timber that is?
It's just a hardwood. I'm not sure if he used offcuts for it, but yeah, it was custom made for this build.
Just beautiful.
Yeah, the artist was really great working with me with the colours and sending me photos back and forth of the glass to find the right thing and make it work. I chose the gum branches and leaves because the house, having the corrugated iron on the outside, it's supposed to be a bit like the Australian bush shack. Yeah. It's a glorified bush shack, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it lends itself gorgeous.
Yeah.
And what's the temperature like up here?
It gets really nice and cozy. I haven't had a summer in here yet. Okay. There will be a fan, 12-volt camping caravan fan just there. That can be faced over to the bed.
And there's plenty of light and a beautiful view downstairs. And more storage over there.
Yeah, I designed that actually for a single bed, but it's serving right now as storage as I don't have the day bed down underneath yet. Yeah. That'll have all the storage in it eventually. Yeah. I have wanted to build my own home since I was probably early 20s. And it was really something that I wanted to have big time, you know, and I couldn't see a way of it happening for me in the, you know, near future, just financially with the housing prices and land and all of it. Even working full time is, Mum came up to visit me in Federal and she said, "Have you thought about building a tiny house?" And I thought, hey, that is a really great idea. And so I just started drawing. And the first thing I started with was, what is important to me? What do I need to feel good?
What do I need to feel good? That is such a great premise to start from, whereas architects start with, you know, the lay of the land or the wind or something, and you're saying, no, how do I want to feel when I'm in this tiny house?
One thing that's really, really important to me is warmth. And Mum used to say that I was always a bit like a cat, you know, I'd curl up in the sun in the window because I grew up in Victoria and it was, you know, cold winters. So I'd always, when the sun would come out, find the warmest spot and curl up on the weekend. So having windows like this one here, lots of light, and the design for this little area came from, I guess, having a window seat where you could just curl up with your cup of tea and, you know, a space where you could look out into nature and it can come in to the space, you know. Where did I go next? So drawings and ideas, writing down all these things, you know, being off grid, sustainability, trying to source things that were secondhand, like the windows, the doors here. This was actually secondhand off Gumtree. All the windows were secondhand except for the lead light and the roof windows. Wow. Yeah, so Gumtree is a good place for materials.
So you were dead serious. Once she put the idea to you and you thought, I can do this, you then had to find somewhere to put these things.
So I started buying windows on the weekend. You know, this is my little hobby for a while. And I'd bring them home and I'd just store them in the lounge room in the studio that I was living in, and just threw a nice cloth over it to make it invisible, you know, didn't have to look at it. And then eventually I got to the point where I worked out where the build site was going to be.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to start it really quickly, I ended up going with doing it in Victoria at my brother's factory.
Yeah.
And so I then sent all the windows on a truck, which is probably not that sustainable, but they fitted it in with other stuff on the load and took it down.
Oh, nice, yeah. So did you have any skills, Sophie?
To begin with, well...
You had your designs, you had your windows, and you had a dream. Did you have any woodworking skills? Building skills?
Not really, no.
So what did you do?
I would say no. I looked up, I searched for woodworking workshops in the area, and I found this wonderful woman, which is yourself, Patt Gregory, Woodwork for Women, and I saw that you had a beginner's workshop, and that was 4 days.
Yeah.
And I thought that's something that I could start with, and that would be achievable in amongst work and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
how did you feel when you finished that? You learnt some hand tool skills and power tool skills. And that was your first taste of woodwork. How did you feel in regard to your build then? Did it feel a little bit closer, or did it feel further away?
It was definitely a step in the process that needed to happen, and really beneficial, because I had not really used power tools or anything before, and I wasn't scared of them, I would say. I just didn't know how to use them. And so it gave me the basic knowledge in how to use them, and the safety equipment, you know, earmuffs and masks and all of that. Yeah.
So you had some confidence under your belt.
Yeah.
And was your dad impressed with your skills?
It's
a bit hard to impress Dad by the sound of it.
It's pretty hard to impress Dad, yeah.
Were there any other skills that you picked up along the way before you started your build, other than the 4-day workshop?
Then I just wanted to get straight into it after that, really.
Right.
I bought the trailer. I found someone who could build me a custom trailer for this design that I had, and just got stuck in. I thought there's no better way to learn than just get going with it, you know.
You had your trailer, you had the space, and you were working full time, so it meant you had to fly down in the holidays to start your job. So what did you start on first?
So the first task was the first school holidays I had was 2 weeks, and I flew down and started on the floor. Basically, the first thing to do was to make sure it was dry and ready, and I put the insulation in, so I went out and bought the bats. They were quite thick to fit in between the metal sort of, I don't know what you call it, chassis. I went with the earthwool bats. It's the recycled glass bottles. It was tricky because I wanted to do something that was environmentally friendly, but there's not really, you know, there was wool or denim. There's a few different options, but the earthwool seemed like the best way to go. Yeah. So I did that, and then I'd heard that when you put the timber down onto the metal, it can create kind of a condensation, you know, and then your wood can rot and things like this. Yes. So I ended up gluing down on all the metal this sort of plastic. I can't remember what the name. It was so long ago now.
What colour was it?
It was black. Just
right.
People use it for flashing and stuff like that.
Yes. Okay.
So I would cut it. It was like a stripping.
Yeah. Okay.
And I went and glued that all the way around.
Whoa.
And then Dad had some time off work, so he came and helped me cut the pieces and showed me how I needed to screw in all the screws. And so I went along, and I don't know if you can see every, what is it, 20 centimetres, what is that, 200 mil?
Yeah, 200 mil.
Every 200 mil I have put a screw in that goes into the ply and into the steel. And so there was a lot of pre-drilling involved, and my brother, my younger brother, was really helpful with all of that, because you know, you can have the tools and the time and the goodwill, but when it's something that's just like a tedious process like that, it's really great if there's two of you and one can do the pre-drilling, the other one can come along with this, you know, the screws. And
great teamwork.
Yeah, it was great. So that job, to get the floor laid and everything ready to get the frame up, took 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even sealed, so I hadn't sealed it yet.
Yeah. And that was sort of 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Every day,
Every
mum
day,
cooking meals.
Mum cooking meals.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't really time.
So it's
great.
full on.
It was full on, yeah.
Full on, yeah.
Yeah.
Building this beautiful tiny house all by yourself, pretty much.
Definitely, I couldn't have done it alone. I had the help of many. I had the help of my father and brothers and mother, who was my mum, was amazing. She came and she cooked and cooked and cooked so that we could just keep going and keep going. Sometimes into the evening in the summer.
Yeah.
And I paid some people to help me as well.
What would you tell someone who wants to build a tiny house? What would you tell them?
Oh, I would tell them go for it. And I would also tell them plan well. I would also say really think about what your needs are, what's important to you, and save up, take the time, find the right build site and the support network. Still just, you know, jump in, but yeah, put some things in place that are really gonna support you in the journey. For example, finding a site that's gonna work if you're having to work full time as well, you know, something close that you can just, instead of going all the way down to Victoria or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, that's real dedication, isn't it?
Because I really just wanted to get out of the rent cycle. That's why I pushed and pushed and pushed to do it really quickly, because I wanted out. And so now here I am in it, but it's very unfinished, which is fine too. But I would say to someone, just wait that bit longer and save that bit more. Yeah. And
saved you. So would you have liked to have been more finished inside before you moved in? Or are you happy with moving in without your power and running water yet?
Well, ideally it would have been more supportive to have it finished so that I could just go to work and, you know, it's quite stressful having to live like that.
Yeah, glamping. I
love glamping. I love camping, and I love just all those, you know, I love gardening and compost and all those things. But when you've got to be away from the house 5 days and you've got to be up and gone, and sometimes you just want a hot shower in the next room.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so understandable. Very special. Well, I think it's an absolutely beautiful build, and thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.